I bought the entire new series of minifigures and upgraded each one of them. If you got a boring minifigure, you'll find out how to turn it into a cool character. So watch the video until the end and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like the upgrade ideas. For the minifigures, creating something cool from the 27th series minifigures turned out to be very challenging. However, the characters I built turned out to be very interesting. The first minifigure in the collection is a little guy in a hamster costume. He comes with a new hamster headpiece and 2 slices of fresh cucumber, double printed legs and 2 facial expressions. We won't need the legs and torso. I'll just take this hat. I'll add a black head and a small stand to it. Now I'll add this unusual trash can to my playground. And from the 2 slices of cucumber, you can make a face mask for your minifigure. In the second box was the most coveted minifigure of this collection, the leader of the wolf pack. This is a very cool minifigure for the price. The set includes a very detailed torso with chainmail design on the sleeves, dual-colored legs in black and brown, Lego brought back, a shield with a wolf head design. Also in the box was a black hood and a new unique fur cloak. It's very warm and pleasant to the touch, a standard knight sword and 2 cool facial expressions. But I was most excited about the new gray wolf piece, because I really love Lego animals, and I'll add them to my fantasy forest. For several weeks, I ran all over the city to find a few of these minifigures and assemble a large wolf pack that will live in my forest and hunt deer and rabbits. I will of course build some mercenaries from my world from minifigures. I'll remove the cloak and hood and add shoulder pads from the Green Knight. I'll take the gray cloak from the old ghost and the wolf head from the guy in the wolf costume. I used weapons from the previous Dungeons and Dragons series, the barbarian's axe and the elven dagger. This character will be the leader of the mercenaries, wild wolves. With his whistle, he can summon a pack of dangerous predators for help. The leader's squad will also have a few regular soldiers. For them, I'll use weapons and armor from the sets, Lord of the Rings, and for some, I took a custom piece to make the knights diverse. I already made a game card for a regular mercenary, and soon I will add it to the board game, and the leader of the wolf pack. You can find it on my Patreon. If you simply want to bring forth your fantasy world to life and stage a real Lego army battle, then follow the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Download the board game rules and character game cards absolutely free and start playing with your friends and family for an exciting experience. If you enjoy the board game or want to support my channel, consider subscribing to receive more various game cards. Subscribing also gives you access to updates on new game releases and exclusive content, enhancing your gaming journey. In the next box, there's an unusual racer with a jetpack. Unfortunately, the jetpack itself is assembled from regular parts, but the minifigure has a really cool new helmet piece with a transparent red visor. The prints on the parts are quite simple, but the mask on the head, really liked it. You can build a really cool mercenary from it to guard important characters or secret objects. I used the racer's protective suit and helmet to create a squad of space marines. For them, I took shoulder pads from astronaut minifigures and heads from other sets. I added a few blasters and antennas and got a squad of stormtroopers. I also took some gray parts and built short mechanized tentacles with various tools. This marine provides support to his squad. He repairs damaged equipment and clears debris. In the fourth box, there was a girl with a telescope. This minifigure has a new unique mechanical arm piece, but it can only be attached to this piece of the torso. I really liked how this telescope is built. It fits the size of the minifigure very well. And it also has a new unique feature. I'll take it to use as a stand for the machine gun of my space marines. I'll also attach the top part of the telescope to the stormtrooper's armor to make a portable rocket launcher. I rarely use such colors in my minifigures, but I'll take this piece. The torso, I'll add the runner's legs from the previous collection, a special suit from the astronaut, and a few tools. I'll add this robotic mechanic to my space mine. Also, this arm looks like a big rubber glove. So I decided to change the torso piece, add robot legs, and this scary head. Now, this minifigure seemingly looks like a mad scientist conducting dangerous experiments in his lab. In the next box, there's a cheerful girl in a pink plush pajama. In her hands, she holds 2 strange fluffy creatures, and judging by her hair, she's a fan of K-pop music. It's hard to come up with something interesting from this minifigure, so, for the first time, I'm going to do something I've always tried to avoid. I searched the box for a white sphere piece. Next, I took special paints for my Warhammer figures and started painting the top part of the sphere red. Between them, I drew a black line with a special fine marker for plastic. Now this girl will be able to catch as many of those strange Pokémon as she can find. The sixth figure in the collection is once again a character in a dinosaur costume. This time, LEGO made a pterodactyl. This figure has very interesting details. Wings, 2 facial expressions, and also a new unique dinosaur head, body and legs. They can be used interestingly if you are building an orc and troll settlement and decided to make hot springs for them. Now, this Cyclops can finally take a bath. But I would rather replace the legs on this minifigure. I'll add details of fur, claws, and a menacing head to create a new character from my fantasy world. A menacing gargoyle from a magical world. They attack the settlement and kill defenseless townspeople. In the next box, there is a figure of a girl with a longboard. She has a backpack in a new gray color and a new unique longboard piece. It looks really cool, but for some reason, it's too big for a LEGO minifigure. The figure itself is not just a cute girl in shorts riding along the beach. She has ripped jeans, a band-aid on her face, and short green hair with a cap. So, I will change her hands to a piece with bracelet and watch designs. And I'll add disposable gloves. I'll put a respirator on her and build a few spray paint cans in different colors. Now, she definitely looks like an urban hooligan who defaces the walls of houses and shops. And the remaining hands with white designs I'll add to my assassin girl from the Dark Brotherhood of Assassins. In this box, I got a minifigure of the Boogeyman. It's a terrifying monster that kidnaps naughty children. It has regular legs and a dark blue torso, but a new and strange headpiece with horns. I liked his book much more, which I will definitely add to my bookstore. The figure itself can already be added to the fantasy world as it is, but I will still replace the body and legs, add a black cloak to this character, take a staff with an eye from the previous collection, and a weapon from Ninjago. And as a minion, I will use the Fly minifigure, replacing its legs and arms. A very strange pair, but if you're bored with classic fantasy, this minifigure will definitely come in handy. In the ninth box, there's a more interesting character. It's a little Cupid with a red bow and a new piece, wings. He has an interesting hairstyle, 2 facial expressions, and a white tunic. I bought several of these minifigures to use there. I took the body and legs from the Dragon Paladin from the previous collection. I added a white cape and a knight's shoulder pad. I use a standard head and white hair. At the back, I will add white wings. And for weapons, I took a noble sword and a piece of blue magic. Now my army of light will have warrior angels. They will accompany the archangels and fight against the forces of evil to protect ordinary people. The next figure in the collection is a female pirate with an incredibly cool white parrot. The figure has regular hair and 2 facial expressions, very interesting prints on the body and legs, a regular pirate saber, and a red skirt. And finally, for the first time in several decades, we have received a new version of the parrot. It is very beautiful, and I liked it. I will divide the pirate into several parts. I will take the legs and add the body from the bard from the previous collection. I will use a red cape with a collar and a cape with a ring and a head with a mustache. I will put on a cool pirate hat and add a golden saber and a cane. This character will be the captain of a sailing ship, an adventurer, and a tomb raider. And from the remaining parts, I will build the captain's assistant. Now, they can set off on a treasure hunt. Another minifigure that delighted us with a new LEGO animal piece. It's a guy in an interesting sweater, with a scratch on his face and fur on his pants. The minifigure itself is quite ordinary, but it came with a cool piece, a ball of yarn, and a very beautiful white cat, with a thick mane around its neck and a fluffy tail. For this custom build, I used the LEGO Ideas gift set to create a cozy room with books and a chair. Next, I took a piece of regular clothing and the face of an elderly woman. I used the magic wands from Harry Potter as knitting needles. Now this sweet old lady can brew a cup of hot chocolate, sit in her comfortable chair, and knit a funny sweater for her grandson. And her numerous cats will be playing nearby. The 12th minifigure in this collection is a steampunk-style inventor. I really liked him. He has an interesting olive suit with a pattern of tools in the pocket and various sensors. A cool face with a monocle and a top hat with goggles like an inventor. A very interesting construction of his mechanism and 2 pressure sensor parts. You can take several cylinders and suits of different colors, build several characters, and create a scene. The murder of the inventor by opponents of new technologies. But I will replace the legs and head of this figure and add a beard to create a dwarf inventor for my fantasy world. After demons came to the world of Caldaria and powerful dragons were brought back to life, the dwarves of the Empire of Light began actively hunting them. By killing dragons, they collect rare dragon oil from them, which burns very well. I took a new Star Wars set and built a barge from Jabba the Hutt's cartel. Then I took parts from a Ninjago set and built a primitive mechanism for processing dragon oil. Combining all of this, I created an interesting airship for my fantasy world. It will be operated by my new dwarf inventor along with his team. It can be used as a means of transport for wealthy individuals and valuable cargo. For flights to hard-to-reach places, for example, the northern mountains, the homeland of the dwarves, or as a combat mechanism to drop barrels of flammable mixture on enemies, you can also equip the airship with a ballista or a squad of combat crossbowmen. Soon, I will add game cards of the airship to my Patreon, Angels and Archangels. Be sure to write in the comments which character you'd like the most, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.